Good morning and welcome to Saltcoats Town Hall. I was a little nervous there about breaking into the clearly superb discussions that you're all having around the room, because a lot of what we're doing and going to be doing today will be about having those discussions and those conversations to develop and stimulate our own thinking and hopefully our practice. So, very warm welcome to Building Stronger Communities Through Partnership in Place, which we are doing here in North Ayrshire in Saltcoats Town Hall. When we sent out the briefing for this morning's conference, today's conference, we said that it was about joining us to discuss how placemaking and local democracy can build stronger communities. And there will be lots of opportunity for everyone here today to actually look at the power of bringing place and people and communities together to create something that is much powerful and much better than each of those individually. So, as I said, a very warm welcome to Saltcoats Town Hall. This was refurbished, just trying to think, probably just about a year and a half ago. I hope you like it. This used to be a cinema, this room. I remember coming here, I think I came to see Greyfriars Bobby in here a very long time ago, when I used to live in Stevenson. And anyway, we've refurbished Saltcoats Town Hall and made it into a beautiful venue for events like today. We also have a fairly large cohort of staff working downstairs. About 65 staff operate out of the downstairs accommodation, our customer service staff, registration and housing, social services and so on. So it's got a very, very functional purpose right in the centre of Saltcoats and indeed the three towns area of Ardross and Saltcoats and Stevenson. So on to our conference and our programme. Okay, so our programme today, after me, you will have the pleasure of hearing from Colin Mayer, who many of you will know as the Chief Executive of the Improvement Service. So Colin's going to discuss community empowerment and planning reform and how the two come together. He will be putting very much a national context on it, and that then allows us to look at how we're dealing with some of these matters locally. I want to thank the Improvement Service particularly for helping us put together today's conference, for actually coming up with the original idea with us about hosting the conference, and it's lovely to be doing work in this way with our colleagues from the Improvement Service. I can't think of a time when we haven't enjoyed working with them, so it's really, really good to be doing this today. After Colin, we'll hear from Audrey Sutton, who's the Council's own Head of Connected Communities. And Audrey's going to take everyone through our own locality partnership journey in North Ayrshire, but also linking how it fits with placemaking and the importance of the two coming together. And I guess this particular building is actually a really good example of that, almost an embodiment of people in place coming together. So Saltcoats Town Hall was really falling into quite a state of disrepair right in the centre of the town, and the elected members of the council decided that they did not want that to happen, and they decided to put some money into refurbishing Saltcoats Town Hall. But rather than just refurbishing it, we felt that we should do something that made it a living and material part of the community in the area, which is why, as I said, we've got a number of staff working from here. We have people coming in and out the building all the time. We try to encourage people to use these spaces that we have upstairs, so we have locality partnership meetings in here as well, so that people are coming in and getting used to using the space very, very regularly, and it is becoming very much a real part of our local community, and that's the importance of bringing place and people together, and also our decision making and our local democracy as well. We've got a number of stalls and stands around the room. We've set up what we call a sort of marketplace for you today, hopefully to give you time to go round and hear from some of our initiatives, some of which are award-winning and sector-leading, and I'm going to say that before all of our young people up at the back say that to me again today. Every time I see them, they tell me about how they're sector-leading. So, got it in first, guys? But please take some time to go around all of the different stalls. They're not actually, I'm just looking around the room, they're not the only award-winning group around the room. I'm pleased to say we've got quite a number of really good initiatives and pieces of work for you to hear about, and hopefully feedback about some of the things that you're doing in your own area as well, because one of the things that we do in North Ayrshire is we're always learning. We absolutely believe in the power of hearing from others and understanding what they're doing so that we can build on what we do already. We're also going to have a Q&A session. Now, this will be a wee bit different from where it's in your programme. We've moved that up our agenda a wee bit, so it's now at 2:45, so we've shifted the timetable around a wee bit, and we'll have our Q&A panel at 2:45, and I'm really looking forward to that, because that's an opportunity for questions to come forward and for us to have a bit of a discussion around what we've been hearing and what makes for success in this very complex area of bringing people and place together. For those of you who are new to North Ayrshire, we have a number of assets, a number of challenges. If any of you do know North Ayrshire, you know we have an absolutely stunning coastline, and because we do get a lot of rain, as in today, it's also a very green area, but we do also get lots of sun as well, so it's a beautiful part of Scotland, and one that certainly everyone who lives here and works here really enjoys. We have lots of local heritage. Obviously the town hall is part of that, but we also have huge amounts of heritage in terms of connections to people like Robert Burns, for example. We have our own specific links to Robert Burns in North Ayrshire. But we have our heritage centre in just at the back of Saltcoats Town Hall here, right in the heart of Saltcoats as well. So we spend quite a lot of time thinking about our heritage and building on what we've done. As you walk around this building, you will also see references to some of the people who have done amazing and great things that came from North Ayrshire, and we've tried to reflect some of that in this building as well. We are very fortunate to have excellent community planning partners in North Ayrshire who work very closely with us. We have been able to do quite amazing things, because anything that you see around this room today is not just because of what we do in the council. It's very much as a result of partnership work and the support that we have with and for our community planning partners. And they're a real pleasure to work with, they really are. Nothing's ever too much trouble, and everyone's always available for a quick word to try and sort out a wee problem. So community planning, I think in North Ayrshire, is not about what goes on at the Community Planning Partnership Board, which meets once a quarter. It's about all the amazing and incredible things that happen every single day that are sitting below that, because we have this authorising and permissive environment that community planning creates. Some of our challenges, though, are related to deprivation. We have lost significant major industries over the last 30 years. Those have never been replaced, and we have now multiple generations of households who have been without work, and that has a real lasting difficulty for confidence, for morale, for how particularly our young people feel about living and growing up in North Ayrshire. And also it goes to the heart of some of the poverty problems that we have. So we have the second highest levels of child poverty in Scotland, and it gives me no pleasure at all to say that, but it is something that I am absolutely determined to use my every waking and working breath to try and resolve. And we had during National Challenge Poverty Week earlier this month, we ran a whole series of programmes and initiatives to highlight poverty, not to highlight why poverty was so bad, but to highlight what we can do and how we can challenge poverty to try and make North Ayrshire a better place, and particularly make it a better place for our young people. So we're working hard at the moment to try and not just halt that increase in child poverty, but to reverse it. And we do have a very challenging economic position. We have just about the lowest, if not the lowest, job density ratio in Scotland. And what that means is that we have very few jobs for the working age population in North Ayrshire. So it's just over a half. So for every member of the working age population, we have about half a job in our local area. So we have a number of people who go out of the area to work. And that's fine, and we can support that, we can develop that, but it's not enough. We need to bring more jobs into North Ayrshire, and we need to grow our local economy as well. And again, we're working extremely hard to try and change that. One of the overarching pieces of work that we have undertaken has been to develop our inequalities strategy, or our strategy to achieve equity across North Ayrshire, and that's called Fair for All. What we want to do is to create a North Ayrshire that is fair for everyone who lives in North Ayrshire, who works in North Ayrshire. And we have 5 key pledges that we have signed up to as a community planning partnership, which tackle economic growth, children, the environment, health and food. And you'll hear more about these as the day goes on. For economic growth, our key pledge is to be the most improved local economy in Scotland, with all sections of our communities benefiting from this growth. For our children, we have committed to support, nurture and encourage all of our children to reach their full potential. We want North Ayrshire to be the best place in Scotland to grow up. In terms of our environment, everyone deserves to live in a safe and welcoming environment, an environment that feels good to them, that makes them feel good about themselves. And therefore we have a pledge to our North Ayrshire residents, where they will have access to and enjoy a safe and quality environment, and are given the opportunity to be included in the key decisions made about their community and their environment. And the Council agreed earlier this year to launch a significant piece of work in terms of our environmental services, where about £1 million worth of work we will be going out to consult with our communities on where and how they want that money spent, and where it can be used to best effect to improve their community. In health, we have focused on improving the health outcomes across the life course for North Ayrshire residents, but particularly we have a strong focus on mental health. And the reason we have a strong focus on mental health is because that's what our communities have told us is important to them. We have conducted a huge amount of work with our communities, both from a health perspective and from a locality perspective, and they have told us that one of the most important things to them is to improve the mental health and well-being of people who live in our communities. So we have made some very key pledges and commitments to try to improve that. We also are looking at food and how we create better food, how we create dignified food provision. As you would imagine, we have a big demand in our food banks. Our food banks are very necessary and they do an amazing piece of work in North Ayrshire, but they're not the most dignified way for people to get food. And we want to improve that and to change that and to ensure that people and children get the food they need when they need it, and in a way that is respectful to their needs. That's currently been worked on. Our overarching pledge, though, to people in North Ayrshire, and what Fair for All is trying to achieve over its 15-year time frame, is to address child poverty. And as you can see, we've taken very much a thematic approach to that. So you will hear more about some of these things over the course of the day. I'm very much looking forward to getting to know a number of you in a lot more detail over the course of today, particularly colleagues from Mid and East Antrim. And I'm now going to hand over to our first speaker of the morning, who's Colin Mayer. Can you put your hands together to give Colin a very warm welcome, please?